For this all my life, you're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Scheananigans. So today we're doing all things beauty, doing a pod swap with one of our other shows here at Dear Media, Breaking Beauty. We've got the beautiful ladies from Breaking Beauty, Carlene Higgins and Jill Dunn. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Sheena. How are you? I'm Jill speaking.
And this is Carlene.
A lot of people mix up our voices, so
you
we
know,
try to do that.
When I listen to podcasts that have like chicks in the office and I'm like, wait, which one's Fran? Which one's Fran? I'm like, yeah. So
little voice ID.
Yes.
Never hurts.
Well, thank you for coming on Scheananigans. I know y'all don't live here. You're visiting from Toronto, and I'm so excited we were able to make this happen.
Yeah. I'm such a huge fan of yours and your podcast and VPR, the whole thing. So, and you've had so many things happen. So you're coming on our show later, so we're gonna dig into all of that.
Stay tuned. Yes. That episode will be out soon. But I just wanted to congratulate you on being one of the top 10 beauty podcasts since 2017. That is huge.
Thanks, girl.
Thank you so much.
I mean, wow.
Well, there are a lot now, actually, because when we started, there was probably like 3 or 4.
Yeah, and a couple were in the UK.
Yeah. So now there are a lot. So we feel like, we're actually pretty proud too for, somebody who was laid off from the fashion magazine industry and left for dead,
So I want to ask you about that because both of you ladies started as beauty editors.
Yes.
So did you work together?
We did not. We worked kind of like, we went on, how we got to know each other is we both worked for fashion beauty magazines. Carlene was at Flair magazine and I was at Elle, and we used to go on these very luxe press trips. So like a brand would launch a fragrance and they're like, come to Paris and interview the celebrity spokesperson and get to know the perfumer and just like all of these things that seem like it was just like a totally different life back then, I feel like. But yeah, we would go on these press trips together. We didn't work at the same magazine, but you got to know all the beauty editors. And lo and behold, Carlene and I would be like shutting down the hotel bar together. And
love that.
Yeah, like checking out all the French people and just like having chats and having fun. And we just always really got on, I think. And I always just had a lot of respect for Carlene. And then when I started freelancing, I would work, she would be my editor. So we worked together in that capacity.
Nice.
But
and
never.
she doesn't hate me, which is shocking. Because I wasn't easy on her, I'll tell you that.
Oh, tough one.
Yeah, made me work for it. But I think we had the right idea at the right time, and we really decided over lunch to start this podcast. And
love that.
We kind of realized from going on all these press trips, there's just so many interesting people in the beauty industry and so many different types of jobs. Like I didn't know a perfumer was a job. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
That there's all of these different ways to be in the beauty industry, make an impact. It's a very creative industry. There's a lot of incredible women in the industry, and we felt like when we got back to the magazine, when we would like go on these trips, you'd come back and it was like you wanted to tell the whole story, and there was like 50 words you could have space for to tell these stories. And we were like, a podcast would like let those stories breathe a bit.
Totally.
And like let's peel back that sort of like layer and let people know who some of these founders are and who the best thought leaders are and where do trends come from and what products are truly the best. We always wanted to like edit down people's top shelves, basically.
Yeah. Well, I want to get into all of those things. I want to know what products are the best.
Yeah.
But as an editor, okay, so did you go to school for journalism?
Jill did. I did not.
Okay.
I just kind of landed there. Like I actually went to school for environmental studies and English.
Oh.
And then I just blasted my resume everywhere. This was like back in the day. And my first gig was front desk clerk. Mm-hmm. I always like to say front desk. It was like front desk bitch. No offense to anybody, but that's really what I was. Let's be honest. And it was a hair magazine, and I just randomly ended up there. And then, I did the photocopying. I got the coffee. I did the things, but I really tried hard because I was working at a magazine, and that was glamorous and that was awesome. And eventually I just kept working my way up, and then our art director went to Flair, which was that's like the Vogue of Canada, or it was before it went under, because the whole industry is shrinking, as everybody knows. And he just brought me over. There was a job available, and that was truly life-changing for me. I ended up working there for over 12 years, and I just I had so many, honestly, the best memories that I have are from working at that time, because like Jill said, it would be like flying around the world and like getting to see Beyonce backstage because she's the face of this fragrance, or like doing a photo shoot with Charlotte Tilbury was really huge, or you know, going backstage at New York Fashion Week and interviewing Pat McGrath, you know, with all of these trends that she would create for the runway, or like Marc Jacobs. And so honestly, that was just like, it was such a great experience for me. And when I left that job, the reason that I love podcasting so much is because really I'm using all of the skills that I learned there, which is, you know, how to sniff out what is, we always say like what's great versus what's a gimmick, you know, being like super critical and telling a story. And that's essentially exactly what we do, but in audible format. And I actually like it better because it fits into people's lifestyle, as you know, right? It's like you keep people company when they're stuck in traffic, you know, that like when they're running on the treadmill or whatever it is. And like, we are just so much closer to our audience. Like, we always get DMs from people and they're like, I tried this product that you recommended and I love it. Or like, what do you think about this or that? And like, it's just so different from magazines where you were just dictating trends and you just had no relationship with anybody. I feel like it's so much more real and close contact. And you know, I'm sure you feel the same way, as just like you get to know people who follow you and listen to your podcast, and it's like so much more rewarding.
Definitely. So you've been doing your show for what, 6 years now?
Wow.
Yeah,
it's really good. And when we started, we were kind of doing more like narrative style, and now we've like, because we are journalists and editors by nature, you're not trained to be part of the story. You're trained to tell the story, craft the story. But we would get DMs all the time, people giving us feedback like, we love what you're doing, but we want to hear from you guys. And we were like, what? But yeah, over time, we've really embraced that. And we do, our most popular episodes are called our Damn Goods, where we're kind of doing like a market survey, testing tons of stuff, letting people know what's out there, what's worth the money and what's not. So it's been really fun.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's get into that, because I have so many questions. I do want to know what's worth the money, you know, what's worth splurging on, and what products are just as good as drugstore ones, because I refuse to spend more than like $7 on a mascara personally. So what are some
100%.
of your splurges and that can compare?
You know what? So it's kind of funny because I'm like the bougie one, so I like really expensive things.
As she has her Chanel bag.
She has her Chanel makeup
it's
bag.
Like casual flex, but you know, it's a Chanel makeup bag, but I did get it free. But Jill is a real drugstore girly.
Yeah.
So she has like, you know, she's going to give you
all the
of
dupes.
all of that. So this is stuff that I travel with. I mean, a beauty blender, who would be without this?
Yeah.
Truly life-changing in terms of like my complexion. And I just find when you do what they tell you to do and you don't use it wrong, which I was doing when we started the podcast, you have to wet it, squeeze it, and you have to bounce it. And that's how you get that perfect like stippled look. If you use it dry or you drag it, that's not good. So when I travel, I always have that. The makeup halo and the makeup eraser.
Yeah.
This is the best thing that God ever gave us when it comes to removing makeup, because you just use water and it comes off.
I have one of those.
You don't need makeup remover and all that. So I love it. I love it to get eye makeup off. What else do I have in here?
I think Carlene needs to tell everybody about the bougie ass skincare that you use, which is the Japanese.
It's not in here because I don't have travel size.
That's
okay. So I love Clé de Peau skincare.
Okay.
Have you ever tried it?
No, I've never heard of it, to be honest.
It's
love
so
it.
good. So it's the parent company is Shiseido.
Oh, okay. I have a bunch of Shiseido products.
Right. It's so fantastic. So it's Japanese skincare, which I truly like for my skin type because it's all about hydrating. And so I love the daily moisturizer with SPF. It's called the Skincare Emulsion or something like that. It's SPF 20. And I still to this day have yet to find a daily moisturizer with SPF that goes on so silky, gives me like this little dumpling effect, and my makeup goes on perfectly over top. And I'm like such a fool for their waters and their essences. They have like this hydrating one that you put on after you wash your face. It goes before a serum or a moisturizer. And again, it's just getting that hydration into your skin. But it's like $120 for that moisturizer. So it's not inexpensive.
Yeah.
And that toner I talked about is also like $100. But literally I have yet to find something as good. So those are my obsessions. And then lastly, you know the makeup artist Violette?
No.
Okay, so she's a French makeup artist.
Okay.
Also was like an influencer of sorts. Like she was big in the street style scene for a long time because she's super gorgeous, super French, you know? Like she's literally from Paris, and she created her own makeup line. This is like an eye product here. It's called Violette FR in French, or FR. And I am obsessed with all of her makeup, but this is like an eye
Paint.
shadow kind of paint.
Oh.
And I just use it like across my lash line. And this is a copper color here. And it's just, I always say I'm lazy / busy. I don't do like a big cut crease, smoky eye, whatever.
I'm the same way.
So
I love this.
This is like, I'll do almost like a cat eye, but it's a little more rough than that. And then I'll put a little bit under, like in my lower lash line, and I'll rub that one in so it's more blended. And I just find it lasts, it's like an instant look. I'm obsessed with these. They come in so many different colors. Everything she makes is like chef's kiss.
She has this product called Boom Boom Milk, and it's a spray-on moisturizer. So you shake it and then you spritz it on, and you're like, oh, I'm French. Like instantly, it's just like you look effortless and put together.
Oh, wow.
And it just like rehydrates your makeup, and it's great as a primer. Like it's such an original product. And she just started selling a sample size of it. You have to check it out.
But does it have SPF in it?
No,
Okay.
no,
So,
of course not.
What you ladies are both going to have to try.
Yes.
So recently I had Samantha Brett. She's the founder and CEO of Naked Sundays. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
So it's an Australian brand, but I mean, the packaging is so cute, but the products are also really good. They smell good. It has like collagen, hyaluronic acid, and everything's SPF 50 plus.
Love it. But okay, you hooked me already because she's Australian, right?
Yes.
And they don't fuck around when it comes to SPF, because they take it very seriously, and they have like the highest standards for SPF.
No, totally. She started as a news reporter and
my
in
God,
the field
no
and just
way.
always out being in the sun, and the Aussie sun just hits different.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So if you guys missed that episode, you should go back and listen to it because it was so informative.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's just a new beauty product for you to try.
Absolutely. I'm obsessed with that. I'm going to hit you with a couple drugstore finds that I think everybody needs to know about. So for SPF, from Biore, it's their Aqua Watery Gel SPF 50.
Okay.
And you can buy this on Amazon. It's like $13.
Love that.
And I have oily skin, so I really love that it doesn't look greasy or shiny, and it's SPF 50. So I'm getting that like full day kind of protection. And then I just discovered a product. If anybody out there listening has redness at all, this is something I discovered on TikTok probably last year, but I finally got to try it myself. The brand is called Dr. Jart. It's a Korean brand.
Okay.
And they have this product called Sika Repair, and it's in a little glass jar, and you dip your finger in. It's actually, when you look in it, it's green. So it's a color correcting kind of moisturizer. And if you use this product wrong, you will absolutely hate it. But when you learn to use it right, it is truly game changing. Like, I forgot to bring it on this trip, and I am like gutted that I don't have it with me. So basically you like take a tiny little bit out, you kind of like dot it on your face, like forehead, nose, cheeks, whatever. And then you just like simply pat it in, and instantly all of your redness is like completely neutralized.
Wow.
Because you know, the idea of color correction's been around in makeup for so long, but this is like color correction baked into your skincare, and you can't mess it up. Like, once you just learn that technique, it's so cool.
Okay, I'm going to hit you with another budget find that everyone needs to know about. This is the Undone Beauty Water Blush. This totally popped off on TikTok. I'm a fool for cream blushes. I just think they blend in and they look so much more natural. So this one, they call it Water Blush. When you open it up, it looks like a strawberry popsicle or like Kool-Aid, right? And you just put it, I do a little X on the apple of my cheek and just like blend it in. And it's this fresh little, and it feels cooling when you put it on. That's why they call it water blush.
Interesting.
Yes. And they're $10.
I feel like I suck at that kind of blush. Like, if I put
Really?
I don't know. I'm so
it's so
old school with
easy.
my makeup, and I don't venture out. I don't try anything new. I
You
stick
should
with
try
the
this.
same brushes. I clean them, but like, I just stick to what I know.
Yeah.
So
This is like
gonna
something
try
you could
that.
do really quickly, like when you're poolside, and they have water bronzers as well. Also, I'm noticing that you are a nails girly, and I
Yes.
feel like you're going to be obsessed with this Cutie Oils.
Ooh.
So it looks like a lip gloss, you guys. And like literally it has the doe foot applicator and you open it, but it's actually cuticle oil. And you rub it on and it smells fantastic. And I have like a gel polish on, and she told me to put it under my just under where it hangs over, to make it, to keep it from drying out and having my tips like peel or crack too early. It smells so good. It just moisturizes it. Everybody needs a cuticle oil, but this is one that like travels well.
Yeah.
And it looks cute. And
It does. It looks like a
I've
lip
brought
gloss.
these to like, when you go with your girlfriends and like you're in the hotel room and you went for a little girlfriend getaway and you just get this out. It's like lip gloss. You just put it on. And then they're like, can I borrow it? Can I borrow it? And next thing I know, everyone in the room is like, where that cutie oil's at,
Yeah.
It's just that thing. Like it becomes addictive. But it's a good thing to be addicted to.
Yeah.
Very moisturizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many. I mean, we're just on a roll here.
I
Sheena,
know.
Stop us.
I know.
Put the brakes on.
Okay, so let's get back to your podcast. I want to
Okay,
ask you, because I
sure.
was just going through your episodes, and my God, you have interviewed so many amazing people. Who you don't have to say like, oh, this person was my favorite, unless you do have a favorite. But who have you interviewed that gave you like the best beauty advice, or who have you learned the most from in the beauty industry, who you've got to have on your show?
Right. That is such an interesting question, because we've interviewed so many beauty brand founders.
Yeah.
And I always find that their stories are so inspiring, like Tata Harper, and we've interviewed the founder of MAC Cosmetics, the original one of the co-founders,
Wow.
Frank Toscan, in his living room, and he's not with the brand anymore, and he never gives interviews. So we were very moved and very touched. It was a very special conversation, because the whole idea from MAC Viva Glam, a lipstick changing the world, because of him, he was inspired to create that because of his friend that had AIDS and passed away from it in the late 80s. And he was like, your death will not be in vain. And then he literally turned the power of a lipstick into more than $500 million raised for AIDS research.
Yeah.
So we're like sitting on his couch crying, like trying to keep it together.
With his dog.
Yeah.
Little dog there. It was so cute.
Yeah. And then I think, we just had a review the other day, somebody saying that they learned so many things that change their skin. And I've learned so many things, I think, on our show from estheticians. And those tend to be like some of our more popular episodes. Renee Rouleau did an amazing episode with us. She's an esthetician, and she just was like, how to build your skincare routine. Because there are so many products out there. So we just went through
many.
Yeah.
Totally. And even for us, we get to try so many things, but it's like, what really works, and like, what do you use with what to get the most efficacy? So she's walking us through like vitamin C on this night and retinol on this night. Like retinol on this night, she was talking about like skincare cycling before it was like a trend on TikTok, right?
But I'll tell you the best tip that I learned from Renee Rouleau, and that is our #1 episode. She would say that after you wash your face, you need to get your skincare on within like seconds. She's like 15 seconds before your skin dries, which actually makes a lot of sense, because if you think about, again, like the French way, they always oil their skin when you get out of the shower, and you're supposed to do it again on damp skin, because basically what it is with the oil, it seals in, and so you avoid water loss, right? So it keeps the moisture in. And with the skincare, it's about the idea, if you think about a sponge. So have you ever tried to mop up something on a counter with a dry sponge? It basically doesn't work.
Yeah.
But when the sponge is wet, it soaks it up. And that's the idea, basically, is that when your skin's still a bit damp, it's like it's ready to receive.
That's so
You know?
interesting. I feel like after I do makeup wipe, which I know people are like, oh my God, she uses makeup wipes. But after the makeup wipe, I do like some micellar water and I wash my face, but then I dry it all the way and then I put my cream on.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? You know how when you don't put on moisturizer right away, if you have dry skin, all my dry skin girlies out there will know what I'm talking about. If you leave it and you go and do something else, then all of a sudden your skin's really dry and it feels like cracked.
Tight, yeah.
So those moments where it doesn't get dried out yet, that's when you want to put the moisturizer on, and that's when it's going to like sink in. So that was a great tip.
That is a good
from
tip.
her, right?
Yeah. And I feel like we did a whole episode recently about exfoliation with Sean Garrett. And he's I believe that's his last name.
Yeah.
He's an amazing esthetician in New York. And he just had so many, we just like to zero in on these topics where people can really get a lot of takeaways. So breaking down like how to cleanse your skin the right way, how to exfoliate your skin the right way. And then it's like less overwhelming and people can take in these tips from these like amazing people. And yeah, I think those are real standout moments to me because I always learn something, you know, even though I've been an editor for over 15 years at this point, there's always something to learn about beauty or your skin, taking care of yourself, self-care.
Yeah,
you
totally.
know?
I feel like we're learning something new every day. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm learning stuff right now in this moment. I love it. What would you say is the weirdest like beauty treatment that you've either tried or heard of or want to try?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, a few years ago, there was the semen facial.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm happy to say I did not try that one, Sheena.
No?
So I can't
Why
report.
not? I can't imagine why.
It was going around in celebrity circles. I was like, this is too much. I draw the line. I draw the line, even though I want to look good.
Yeah. I think the one going around right now, which I also won't be trying, is the vabbing,
Oh yeah,
which
Have
I
you heard of
learned
this?
about.
No.
yeah.
I mean, it's not a treatment. I'm kind of going off now. I'm going off on a tangent. It's a TikTok trend, but
Yeah.
I need to be on TikTok more.
yeah. So who's going to explain it?
Okay. Well, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. So basically, it is a sort of a fragrance trend, and you get the fluid from your vagina and then you dab it, hence the name vabbing. And the idea is it's like a pheromone situation, and then you go to like
Go on your date.
You go on your date, or you go to try to like hook up, or you go to a party or whatever. And I think it's like a grand social experiment, and I don't know that it's working for people, but this
It makes
is
a good
trend.
headline. You can Google it.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that is just a
Okay.
trend and not a treatment. There's the whole like, you know, butthole tanning. What is that called again?
I thought there was bleaching. There's
yes.
also tanning.
Yes.
Yeah, it's there is a name for it.
Perineum tanning.
Yeah,
or
I saw a
something.
girl do
Forgot.
she wasn't showing all the bits, but she was on a trip. This is somebody that I follow who's really into holistic wellness, and actually Lauren Bostick talks about this too.
Yeah.
And this girl that
Sunning,
I've
not tanning, sunning.
sunning.
Yes.
Yeah. And so basically they sun where the sun don't shine. So they like, this girl was like on her balcony and like legs in a V shape and pointed toward the sun.
Legs akimbo. Now, what are supposed to be the benefits again?
Yeah, I was wondering that.
It's something about I don't even know.
It's like
vitamin D.
healing, anti-inflammatory. I can't remember. I'm not doing that anytime soon at all. What was the question?
About treatments.
Weirdest like beauty.
Oh, weirdest. Yeah. So that's
trend
definitely weird. I mean, there's the whole snail slime facial, and there are products that have snail slime in it.
Mm-hmm.
That one is very weird sounding, but actually has some cred to it, I
Yeah.
do believe. If you actually look at it, whatever that secretion is that the snails have is meant to be healing and anti-inflammatory. And actually, I don't know if you know that It Cosmetics CC cream that's like when, you know, it was like viral before viral was a thing. It was just you know, everybody loves that product so
Yeah.
much. It's like a super powered tinted moisturizer. It has SPF 50, but the founder, when she created it, she would go around to like QVC or whatever it is, because she had eczema. I'm getting all the
Rosacea.
facts wrong. Rosacea. And she would do that half face where it was like one side was a tomato and the other side was just like complete, you know, like beautiful skin, even skin tone. And so she would say that she created that product because she didn't just want to cover up. She wanted her skin to be like better over time. And truly that came from, you know, Korean skincare. And they, you know, this is something they've been doing for a long time. And is it the only way to get anti-inflammatory results? No. You know, they say they don't damage these little tiny snails while they're getting their secretion from them. I think they just like, you
They
know,
walk along like a
they
little
walk
net
along
or
a little
something.
net, and
I
it's like
know.
left behind, like almost like their poop. But you know,
Oh my god.
Are they
I don't know.
claiming it's cruelty free?
They do claim it's cruelty free.
do they?
Yeah, yes.
That's
I
interesting.
used to
Yes.
think my mink eyelashes were cruelty free, and I
Well,
got lessened on that.
Right,
So
that's right.
I was like, they told me that they were made from sheddings and no minks
Right.
are harmed. And then
Yeah.
I had people, I mean, this is like 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
I have my own line of faux mink lashes.
Yes.
Very faux, cruelty free, vegan, 100%. But yeah, I wore them on the show. I made a comment and I was like, I can't cry because these eyelashes are mink. And then I had PETA and people just
Come for
sending
you.
me
Yeah.
photos of skinned minks. And I was like, oh no.
And you're like, no,
Yeah.
not happening.
Snail
Yeah.
different than a mink. But I was
Yeah.
just wondering how that it could be classified as cruelty free.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, what would you say are some of the best vegan cruelty free products that y'all use?
Okay. Well, I feel like that's just like table stakes now. It's just like baseline.
Yeah.
Most people are,
Yeah.
most brands are vegan, cruelty free. I
Yeah,
just,
but then there's some that still aren't.
I just
Yeah.
got an email today that Rimmel is now 100% cruelty free. And I think
Drugstore
that's
buy.
and drugstore buy. And CoverGirl obviously is at the drugstore. And that's like, that was huge when they became cruelty free.
Yeah.
I believe that most are. I feel like I don't
Is
even.
Mac now?
Oh, Mac has always been.
It really?
Yes, I know that there was some questioning about that because they were in China, but
Yeah.
they have, I think, since day one been. They're not crushing up beetles for that specific pigment.
Yeah.
Hourglass Cosmetics last year, they just went totally vegan and cruelty free. I love their products.
Yeah.
They have a lot of great formulas, and
We had the founder on the show too.
yeah,
if
she
ever
was,
you
and
wanna-
she talked a lot about that and that process and going through it. But I think there's a lot more transparency now around
Yeah.
that. And basically, Gen Z, they will absolutely
command
not
it.
use your product unless you are cruelty free. So if you want to play with in that space, want to sell to
Totally.
them, then
I mean, yeah, I feel like I'm the same way. I don't
Yeah.
want to support a brand that
Yeah.
isn't cruelty free. And then sometimes I catch myself at an event that I didn't do my research for.
yeah.
And I was recently at a beauty event. I guess I don't want to put the company on
Blast.
blast. But as I'm there and I invited my vegan friend with me because it was in Orange County and it was by her house. And as we're sitting there, they're serving fish for the dinner. And she was like, okay, this is just, and then she was like, hold on. And then she researched that like they're not fully cruelty free yet. And I was like,
Right.
I didn't know. I was like, I got invited to an
Yeah.
event and it seemed nice. It was on the water. And I was like, ooh, beauty event. I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's,
yeah.
you know what? It is a gray area, though. I will say, we once had an expert blogger who is a cruelty-free kitty
Yeah, we did a whole episode about this topic.
and she was saying that a lot of companies, what they would do is they would set up shop within China, because the whole thing was that if you wanted to sell products in China, they had to be tested according to their regulations to be able to come into the country, and that's why they couldn't be cruelty free. But there was a workaround at some point, but this is where it gets contentious, where certain companies would set up shop in China, because if you actually make it there, then you don't have to test it. You don't have to test on animals if you make it there to sell in China.
Gotcha.
So a lot of companies were doing that, but the issue was that at any point in time, regulators could grab a product off the shelf randomly and be like, we're just going to test this, right?
I'm
To
not
make
getting
sure
into
it's
this
safe.
conversation.
I don't know. You know what?
Go back and listen to that
Please
episode.
don't come for me. That was
Yeah.
like 2 years ago we did that episode. So my information is probably very stale. Just cut.
But basically, I feel like at the end of the day, if companies want to be selling to Gen Z and that's all they care about right now, they
need a
will
bunny.
they will be getting the bunny
Definitely.
on that package.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. And take a quick little break and we'll be right back. Okay. So I want to know, what is the one question you get asked the most as someone who has their background in beauty editing and now podcasting and just all things beauty? What's the one thing people want to know the most?
They just want to know what works and what's worth the money.
Okay.
Yeah. So something that I always recommend across the board, no matter what your age is or what your skin type is SkinCeuticals.
I have SkinCeutical stuff.
Very specifically, I like the vitamin C serum from them.
Okay.
And I can tell you without question, if you use it consistently, it is absolutely worth the money. It will change your skin because it's the formula that they have delivered or come up with is just very stable, very brightening, hydrating, and it will make a difference in your tone and the texture of your skin. I absolutely think that that's one that's worth it. And I also think another product that's really expensive but really worth it is the Orbe Dry Texturizing Spray. So I don't know if you've tried this product, but it kind of gives you like beach waves in a can, and it also smells like
Ooh,
incredible,
yes.
like fine fragrance.
Yeah, no, I think I have tried that. Like when I get my hair done, she sprayed that in my hair for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the dark blue bottle. It's got gold on it.
Yeah,
It's
like
actually the black one.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm colorblind.
Oh, maybe you're using a different
I always
one.
thought it was navy blue, the dry texturizing spray. That is so funny.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And like, yeah, she sprayed like probably $5 worth on your hair. Like,
Right?
I think it's like $60.
Oh my gosh.
It's very expensive, but let me tell you, I've been trying for years to find a dupe of that. There's nothing that even remotely holds a candle to that. And that's also what I would say about the SkinCeuticals vitamin C serum. So I'm here to tell you, I agree with you. Drugstore mascaras where you save, but skincare
Absolutely.
and like certain OG products like that inspired all these knockoffs are really sometimes just actually worth the money. Same with the beauty blender. I've tried all of these other sponges, but I always come back to the beauty blender because it is proprietary.
Yeah.
It is the best, and it was created by a makeup artist.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, beauty blenders. What's one thing that both of you can't leave your house without? Because I know you touched on it a little bit, but
Okay, mine is actually, or leave my house or leave, I can't leave home, and I actually have like 7 of them, is the IT Cosmetics dual ended number 7 brush. I love the beauty blender, but I don't have the brush right in my hand right now. But basically it's double ended, and it just lets the one end is smaller.
Okay.
So it lets you get all the concealer, everything blended in perfectly. And then the other end, you flip it around and you can like blend all of your concealer, and I just like, all of your foundation. I just love it. And it like buffs the product into your skin, so it doesn't look like you have makeup sitting on top.
oh, okay.
And also the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. That is really worth it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I know it's expensive though.
Yeah, I do a lot of TV as well, and I always wear that one because you can just layer it. It never looks cakey, and it's just like beautiful.
I have the more affordable version of that.
Yes.
Have you tried Era?
No.
Okay, so it's ERA.
Okay.
And their brand, it's this, I swear I've used like the Dior Air Flash and all of that, and I mean it is just as good. They have one that's a bronzer. I don't know if I do it properly, but what I do is I spray it directly onto my beauty blender, and then with the bronzer, like I'll use that as a contour.
Okay.
And it is my favorite, my go-to foundation. Even if I'm using my like Charlotte Tilbury one, I'll add some of the Era bronzer to it, spray that on my beauty blender, and then I just blend it all in together if I want just like a full glow.
Okay.
So that is
I'm going to be checking that
one
out.
of my favorite ones.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything you would add, Carlene?
Well, I have become absolutely obsessed with
yes.
Say Beauty. I mean, do you know this line?
No, I don't.
Okay, so again, we had the founder on our show, Lainey Crowell, and this brand has just completely popped off. This is vegan and cruelty free,
That's right, yeah.
and quote unquote clean, all of that. Their most iconic products, they have a slip tint, which is like a tinted moisturizer. I think it's good, but what I really like are these, what are they called again?
It's called the Super Glowy Gel.
Okay,
and
so
it's really amazing.
I'm going to demo this bronzer for you here. So it's a liquid, and it just feels like this beautiful gel. And again, I'm doing a demo without a mirror, but I always contour like in the hollow of my cheeks. On both sides. It's really easy to apply, and it just like melts into your skin. And you can do like, I just put it all over wherever you'd put a bronzer, but you can also like mix it with your you can mix it with your foundation to get like an all over little bit of a self tanner type of a glow. It is so stunning. And they also have a highlighter version. It's just the exact perfect amount of like shimmer, non-shimmer.
Yeah.
This is the whole Hailey Bieber kind of aesthetic. It's just like that beautiful, fresh skin, and you can tell she has makeup on, but you can't see it.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
do love
Say
that.
Beauty is. That's what it is. Everything that they do, and I'm wearing the Blur matte lip today, and like ever since we interviewed the founder in April, I have just found I use it pretty much every day.
Love that.
And that says a lot, because I was a Charlotte Tilbury stan. And I still
am. That's pretty much
I
all
still
that I
love
have.
Charlotte Tilbury, but it's like I do get a bit overwhelmed because there's so many products. I still think her blushes are like insanely beautiful, but Say is like kind of taken over. It's so easy.
Yeah, and Gwyneth Paltrow is an investor in Say, and I think that says a lot about the power of this brand. I feel like this is the one that's going to be scooped up next by a big like
Company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Well, you heard it here. Probably not first because it was on yours first. But you heard it here also. Love that. But I'm telling you, ladies, try Era.
Okay.
because
I'm into it.
They have
I
so many
will.
different shades, but just that they have a primer as well. But the bronzer, I will use that year round, no matter how
Okay.
tan or not I am. That just adds to my glam, and it looks so good on camera, but just in life as well. For like every day, it just gives you that perfect little glow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
going to be adding that to cart.
Yeah, definitely. So we've talked a lot of makeup and face and all of that, but what about hair? Do you have anything that you recommend to, help prevent breakage, to just get that strength back? And then I'll tell you what mine is after.
Okay. Obsessed. Well, I love the Way line, do you know, from Jen Atkin?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So she is a hairstylist, famously, of course, with a lot of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
And she came out with this line, and it's really beautiful. All the fragrances are beautiful in it, but her detox shampoo.
I actually use that.
Yeah.
it's so
I
good.
love that you said that because that's in my shower right now.
Yeah,
It's so good.
100%. It gets rid of all the buildup, and if you do use a lot of dry shampoo, it will just like make your hair look instantly voluminous, and it's just so. I feel like for everybody needs that in the shower, even like once a week. It's kind of like, the detox. Literally, that's what it's called. So
Totally.
for your hair, I think that's really worth it. I also think the Dyson Airwrap is worth it. Sorry.
Oh, I've heard that from so
Yeah.
many people.
Yeah, I think if you want to ask Santa for a gift, ask him for the Dyson Airwrap. They just came out with their 2.0 version of the Airwrap.
Ooh.
And I actually think it's much improved and a lot easier to use than the first one. And so really what the trick with that one is it'll give you that 90s blowout look. You can smooth your hair, curl your hair, and dry your hair all in one thing. And what they do is they use this like airflow technique to curl and style your hair rather than like searing heat. So if you're worried about breakage or your hair looking dull or not like shiny and healthy, this like transforms your hair over time. It's
So if
really
you're
worth
that girl who like styles your hair every single week, multiple times a week, instead of that, like she said, that searing hot,
Yeah.
you're gonna get like these more luscious, healthy hair like Jill has. But if you do fry it like I do, I mean, this is the game changer right here.
Ooh.
The K18.
Okay.
This has just completely gone viral on TikTok for good reason. It actually is worth the spend. And it is a spend. It's like $75 for this small bottle. This is a 4-minute hair treatment. And I discovered this like 2 years ago. It's really the new Olaplex is what it is.
Oh,
So-
that's also what I use.
Yeah. So you wash your hair. Instead of using conditioner, you use one pump, just one pump of the K18. You put it in your hair. You kind of you can, if you have longer hair, I use 2 pumps. You would use 1 pump. You get it all in. You can kind of like finger comb it. That's what I do. You wait 4 minutes before you do anything else. And also what's key is you want your hair to be like 70 to 80% dry before you use it. And then, yeah, you leave it for 4 minutes and then you can do whatever you want. You can add a detangler. You can add curly hair products. You can blow dry it. You can just go like let it air dry. And the texture of your hair immediately is so much softer,
Silky.
so much shinier, so much silkier. It's great for really fried, like fake blondes like me. It's perfect for that. The whole idea of it is it's meant to, I don't know, I've been drinking the Kool-Aid because we interviewed the founders, and one of them's an engineer and the other one, she's just really smart. And it's what they say it does is it's actually repairing your hair. All the other ones are talking about repairing your hair.
Yeah.
This one is actually, they say it's like retinol was to skincare is what this is to hair care. It's actually making like a change in the function of your hair and repairing it. That's what they say.
Yeah.
I can't say, I'm not a scientist. I can't say it's doing that. What I can tell you is the very first time I used it, I saw such a dramatic before and after. I was like, this is gonna fucking pop off.
Yeah.
And it did. There's like, I think one sells every 10 seconds
Yeah.
now, and it's
Yeah.
only been out
What?
for 2 years around the world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like
That's crazy.
K18, get
Yeah.
into it.
Okay, I was gonna say my go-to is Nutrafol.
Yeah.
I take those vitamins every day.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my
Yeah.
hair has grown back inches and thickness and everything from
Yeah.
postpartum hair loss
Yep.
to now, insane.
It definitely, we've had so many hairstylists recommend that on our
Yeah.
show. And I've taken it too, and like less shedding for sure. I don't really have the thinning thing, so I can't speak to that, but
No, you have great hair.
absolutely it definitely works. But it's like everything in beauty, right? Where
Yeah.
you have to just stick with it. Mm-hmm. Because people get impatient. Like,
It's
I
not
feel
the
like,
immediate before
That's
and
right.
after,
Totally.
That's
Yeah,
right.
this was like 3 to 6 months.
That's
but
right, yeah.
now that I've seen the results, I'm like, I need to take this every day.
part of the daily
Yeah.
routine.
Okay, what is one thing you want to leave our Scheananigans listeners with? A beauty, product, trend, hack?
Ooh.
What's your like one thing that you're like, everyone needs to do this, everyone needs to know this?
Okay. Do you want to go first?
I would say just don't fall for trends. You know what I mean? Like the biggest trend right now is honestly to just work with what you have. We just interviewed Tracy Ellis Ross on our show, and she is, I think that episode, it's coming out around now. And she really said it. It's like, it's not about conforming to what somebody else is doing. It's really about meeting, whether it's your hair or your skin or whatever it is, with where it's at. And I just love that idea of like, you know, being you and not trying to copy somebody else. And I think that's when people truly look, that's when it works for them, you know? That's when your look is working for you versus somebody else's look.
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest thing that I try to tell my girlfriends even is like, it all starts with good skin, and looking good all starts with good skincare habits. And the number of my friends who just don't even wash their face, go to bed with the makeup on, whatever. And I think a habit that everybody can remember and get into is the 60-second cleanse, which is most people just put the cleanser on their face, rub it around for 4 seconds, and then rinse off. You really need the cleanser to do the work on your skin. And literally you could set a timer for 60 seconds and have the product on your skin for the full 60 seconds, cleansing your face. And that will help the pores look better, your skin look better. And I feel like once I started adopting that, and like the double cleanse is what I do. It's the K-beauty thing. But even just one-step cleanser, doing it for 60 seconds, everybody can do that, and you will see your skin look better.
That's actually what Michaela Makeup. So again, I keep going back to TikTok. What's going on? I'm becoming indoctrinated in this cult.
Dr. TikTok.
But she honestly, she's like, has probably 7 million followers now on TikTok.
I think it's like 14.
Oh my God,
Wow.
crazy! Since she's been on our, not because she's been on our show.
Hey, you don't know.
But it's changed. So like she's grown so much
Yeah.
since she's been on our show. But she even said it. Do you remember? So she's a makeup artist,
Makeup artist. She's
makeup
from Boston.
artist who went viral on TikTok. But she said she used to have really bad skin. She still gets breakouts now and again. But we were like, what was the big game changer for you? And she was like, honestly, washing my face. Because I never used to do it. I couldn't be bothered. And she's like, now I do. And like that alone made a huge difference, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's good. And then the other tip that I just learned, and I can't even remember who told me, but about using dry shampoo to actually not only put it on your part and around the front of your hair, but underneath the nape of your neck, because that's where people tend to get quite frizzy, and you never think to put dry shampoo back there.
I would not think that.
So you can, it's a little hard, but I started doing it, and I actually think it does make a difference with my hair just like having more volume and looking better, like when it's hot and humid, you know? So that's a good little hack.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, for more hacks, tips, trends, and everything, you guys be sure to listen to Carlene and Jill on Breaking Beauty here at Dear Media. Thank you, ladies, so much
you.
for having the conversation on Scheananigans and continuing it on Breaking Beauty.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so
Thanks for
much.
listening, guys.
All
Bye.
my life.